Got them
I
pulled up.
get the articles up. Okay, we're live.
Live. It's official.
Yeah, we're live.
Streaming.
So we got the three articles. I honestly, I read this all today, basically. So
I read them. When did I read them? I read the gallery one yesterday, the Hype Beast article, and then I checked out the Catalan and the Five Myths today. You sure we're streaming, bro?
we should be. You check? You check the feed?
Yeah, I try to check just to make sure everything's up.
Excellent connection.
You
Chat publicly.
hit the big red button.
Yeah, we should be on.
All right, well, maybe I'm just having issues. I'm checking it on my phone. I don't see the stream, bro. But whatever. Let's just do it, man.
Excellent connection. Stream. All right. Let me find these articles. We got three more articles for you today.
Good ones.
I'm Mason. This is Drew. We're covering some art news. We gotta not do as much of we did the screen share, and I feel like it's just our whole aesthetic is like a PowerPoint. It's not even a PowerPoint. It's just a screen share, scrolling through articles. We don't need it up that much.
That's all right. Yeah. I got a lot of like highlighted bullet points too.
Oh, nice, good.
Well,
I
almost
mean, if you want to jump in, what article? I mean, the five myths I feel like is a good article we could read, whereas the other ones are more like top line.
the five myths. You
Yeah,
want
the five myths was pretty interesting. Like I thought that was like super fascinating, to be honest.
same. I'm a big fan of that one. You want to start with that one?
Yeah, let's start with it.
All right. I got it pulled up. I'll just
Oh,
read
nice.
the intro part here. Starting an art collection from scratch is an exciting opportunity to express your tastes, discuss artworks you love, and forge lasting connections with galleries and artists. However, for many, the art world is associated with stereotypes of aloofness and exclusivity. Finding your personal style, establishing a budget, and identifying where to buy works can be overwhelming for first time buyers to consider. Add in some unhelpful myths about the art world perpetuated by the news and the media, and the process can become downright confusing. Here we speak to gallerists to help us bust some of the biggest myths about buying art and share what collectors need to know instead. Great premise. Myth number one: you have to be rich to buy art.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's I mean it depends on what your goals are, I guess. You definitely don't have to be rich to buy art. And I guess by that same notion, you don't have to be rich to collect or invest in art if you think of art in an investment standpoint, but that's not what it's about, I think is a big point.
Saying, no, I don't think you, I mean, again, coming in to the art world before having any experience, either working in it, limited experience going to galleries or museums, I definitely kind of associated it with like the elitist, kind of exclusive, kind of community, if you will. That was just my experience. Obviously having worked in the industry, my perspective has completely changed. Knowing in like interacting with artists as well, obviously, just getting familiar with the whole situation a lot more. Art, I believe, is for everyone to engage with and for everyone to make. So within reason. Yeah, art is not just for the ultra rich. Anyone can buy art and interact with it. So that was
Yeah, I mean, they talk about in this like about there being like a lot of misconceptions that art collection begins at the $1 million level. This is what the woman, I think Kate Sam is explaining. But then she says that most art sells for much lower accessible prices,
$5,000 or less.
which is, that is still an expensive piece of art. But, if you're a collector, I keep thinking about like I think it says I was looking at this, there's some how art is priced, like the how art pricing works. And I read that article and they kind of talk about how like the different ways like art can be, you know, priced, whether it's at auction or whether it's related to the artist's like accolades. If they're new artists, are they doing lots of solo shows at this point, or where are they in their career? Are they a blue chip artist, red chip? There's a lot of factors it says that go into it. Uh, but it kept making me think of like some of my favorite artists. Like, and like a lot of galleries don't list their prices. So that's like sort of tied up in like the negotiation. You go in, there's no price tag. It's a little thing that tells you about the artist and the artwork, the title, what's it made of, like the material side. But typically there's no price listed.
Yeah,
And I think generally they maybe keep people on their toes because the price can shift you know, if the artist made two paintings like this and now there's only going to be one, they have to, maybe adjust. But I was gonna say, my some of my favorite artists, they make a lot of work. Like I was like thinking like Amano, like he lists his prices right on the website, and you can get like amazing works for like pre. I don't know if he's under 2,500, but he might be even like 1,200 for like a nice illustration. And it's like this guy made this.
for sure.
You know,
Yeah.
he took the time to sit down. Even those paper bags, when we went to the show, the Dolce Gabbana sales bags that he drew on, those weren't over 5,000. They were either 5,000 or 2,500. I can't remember, which is way too low for like,
I mean,
I mean, they sold them all out instantly.
compared to how much some of these Birkins or like, Louis Vuitton collab, other things, like, definitely pretty exorbitant prices. So, shout out to Amano for keeping things, chill and relatively affordable.
Well, it's interesting, like with those Birkin like collaborations, like that's a different, it's like almost like a different um it's a different part of the market
Yeah,
for like what they're doing. Like that sort of those collaborations are,
crazy. I mean, expected to like make a lot of, money, I believe, for those types of collabs.
yeah, I mean, those artists, I think oftentimes are like sometimes like I don't in the case of Cause, like his sculptures, I believe, are manufactured. So he's like producing these sculptures. So if he does a collab, I think in one of the articles we were reading, he does a collab with Salon, like that black artist, the African American artist.
Hmm. I'm not
I'll have to find it. I think Cause does a collab with Salon, so like so then like the Cause sculptures have like he has a very like specific like blackface
sure.
sort of motif to his characters. Salon. I didn't know this artist. I was reading about him, and then but he did like a Cause collaboration. So the sculptures that Cause produced, were like shared some of those visual themes that he works with.
Sure.
And I feel like that song guy is kind of like that artist. I think they talk about him later. He did like 1,000, like it was talking about like disrupting, how the industry, maybe he was in the Catalan article, but we'll get back to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it doesn't, art should be affordable.
I like to think so. I like, certainly buy a lot more of it if it were. You want to go to myth number two?
Yeah.
Myth number
We
two,
didn't pop that open.
the art world is closed off to ordinary people.
What do
Uh,
you mean by ordinary people?
People of color. No, I'm joking. I mean, again, well, the article basically says while personal relationships undeniably fuel aspects of the art world, the vast majority of galleries are keen to connect with new buyers and audiences. Let me see. Ruby, one of the people they interviewed, one of the gallerists, um, mentioned that many people are concerned that gallerists are going to be mean or won't speak to them, a stereotype perpetuated by, fictional portrayals of, Charlotte from Sex and the City and some other folks. But the reality is different. If you're going there to be respectful, see the art, have meaningful conversations, and learn more, people are happy to have you, even if you're not intending on buying anything. So yeah,
Yeah, I feel like galleries are definitely there to make a sale at the end of the day. So they're not trying to like frighten off people. It is, we could probably talk a lot about this because the industry definitely has stereotypes about disrespectful wealthy people, disrespectful, like, sort of heady, elitist vibes that are super exclude people. I think that's a major theme that people both within and outside the industry have of the art industry. But having said that, and that oftentimes is my perception, but my general interactions with people, regardless of, you know, their background, where they come from, and anything like that, I've been generally treated pretty respectful and kind. I've only had a few, yeah, like people are very friendly. I've only had like maybe one incident where someone was on the phone trying to like, help me move their piece of art, and I don't even have the art. So I'm just the person you yell at, I guess, because you're frustrated in that situation. But that's like a once for me.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, my experiences with the gallery, again, I kind of like the first point of, who, is it expensive or who can interact with this stuff? The ordinary people, I'd be lying if I said I felt a lot more comfortable walking into a museum to look at certain arts than I did, certain galleries when
of
I first,
course,
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
because
So
there's not a pressure to buy it at a museum.
that makes sense.
Maybe you'll get something at the gift shop. But,
There you go.
like that's just not where the
But again, even just like, you can like, again, I view galleries now at this stage in my life more as, I think it even says it in this article at a certain stage, which as a place to connect, it's like a community, So, like to your point, a lot of gallerists and registrars, people are trying to make a sale, but at the end of the day, they want people coming in, foot traffic, people, everyone is a potential buyer at the end of the day. So, yeah,
or someone to talk to about the art. I mean, they definitely love talking about their subject matter.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it's about. I mean, yes, if you make a sale, of course, pay the artist, someone gets a nice, a nice something to take home, but engaging in conversation about the art, that's what it's about. You know what I mean? So cool. Myth number three.
All right. You want me to read?
Yeah, so
Oh, yeah. You need an advanced degree to understand art. Many prospective buyers are worried that they don't understand art enough to feel comfortable making a purchase. I've felt this before. They
yep.
feel unsafe being in this market when they are trying to start collecting because they are afraid of making a mistake, Sam said. But as she points out, art history is like a big ocean for people to think about. They can never know everything. One trend, anytime I go to a gallery and see like their back office, they have walls of books.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
right.
like a thing. Like the art industry is filled with catalogs, books about artists, historical books, and they all take off the covers. Like they're never, it's always like, you know what I mean? It's never has the sleeve. It's always sleeveless, thick edition books and things, is what I see. I'm like, oh, these look like textbooks,
Yeah.
like people are studying,
There's so
trying to
much
learn about
information.
artists.
And there's so much to know about art. There's so much history. Like they said, it's like an ocean. You can never really know anything, everything. So yeah, I mean, I like to think of galleries as places kind of like we were talking about before. Have a dialogue, educate people. That's what's going to build a rapport with the community and potential buyers again. So yeah, I mean, to your point, the few of the galleries I've been in definitely have some extensive book collections.
I mean, publishing is a part of the gallery business,
Hmm.
definitely. Like a lot of those guys, Zorner, I think they have a bookstore. If I remember correctly, I think I saw that they like next to their gallery is like
Erickson
it's
as well, I
just,
believe.
huh?
Erickson too, I think, is another one. I think they have a
Well, Pearson definitely is a publisher, but I think Zwirner publishes their own books about their artist, like
uh,
magazine style. But yeah, but you said like Pearson is definitely, I think they publish, if I remember correctly, but like they like Toshin or something. But What's interesting is like nobody knows everything, and there's different like levels about like understanding of the art. Like we've been talking a lot about valuing art from like a fiscal monetary perspective. And I think that's just where we are, you know, we don't might not always talk about that, but that's sort of like what we're, where we are in our careers right now. So it's like really interesting to talk about and trying to learn about it. But then there's the other side, like what gets me excited is the material science side.
What do
Like
you
that's why I love the art handling because, art, artists, artists at their core, I mean, you and I both have a science background.
mean?
So like the appreciation for science is there. And I think a lot of times we abstract artists and painters from the sciences, but the arts and sciences are definitely related and they're, because of creativity. And most artists that I know are excellent material scientists.
Yeah.
Like they know um like there's like words like patina. I'm like, what's a patina? You know what I mean? And you come across and you're like, oh, they're like, don't wipe the patina off of that copper. And you're like, oh, you don't want me to remove the rusty? You're not supposed to remove that? It
That's
looks green or something like that. And so, yeah, like a lot of material science goes in. I'm always being exposed to all these different like ways that artists are using materials. I
it.
think on one of the articles, wow, who's the artist? I think Fontino. He like he's the first, he's like famous for cutting the works. I just looked it up because you sent me in the articles of like the most searched,
Uh,
it's like Pablo Picasso just continually being at the top, along with like what Roy Lichtenstein, Yayoi Kusama is up there. And then I think it was Fontino. Uh, and he's famous for, cutting the canvas, like going into whatever is digging,
huh,
which is like I learned that there's something called gestural art. Gestural where you see the gestures or something.
huh,
Like, as opposed to like you
yeah.
can't, it's like fine lines and you can't see like when someone you see the stroke and the motion. And so like I think he fits into that category. And I think that's like a whole nother world way of looking at it. So you have like the finance side and you have like uh that going into it.
Yeah, that's fascinating, bro. Drop the mic on that one. That was great. I love the comparison, like you said, the science side behind it, the materials. It is fascinating to see. I mean, obviously, there's been art for generations, caveman drawings on walls and stuff. But to see the evolution of how people use materials, new ways of using and combining certain things, it is really intriguing. And again, it's just shout out to the artistry and creativity of humans. There's the dude. Now it just came to mind too while we're talking about like just David Altmedge is something that comes to mind all the time. This dude's art and installations, I'm looking at it and I'm like, how does that even like that is
Oh,
it's
the head.
bro, it's my yeah, it's like all of it is really like, yo, this is how do you even conceptual like come up with that? I'm like, let alone
This guy.
facts exactly. That might be worth a screen share. But yeah, David Altmedge, if anyone's interested, no worries. But that's what comes to mind too when I think about that. But yeah, shout out to the
Do a little quick screen share.
oh, here we go. Let's get it. There we go. Wild.
Yeah, these are very original.
Wild. Yeah. Just like half. But
And it's I think I've seen one of these like um I don't know if it was a sculpture. It may not have been him, but it was like a flat work, but with some like antipasto. It had texture, like depth to it. And it was this sort of like three eyes, three things, like that sort of blurred image.
yeah.
That's got to be challenging to make because it throws your eyes off while you're looking at it.
That's what
Like as you're making it, you're like, am I seeing double?
that's what I'm saying. It's wild. Bro. So awesome.
Yeah.
All right, little history action there.
Yeah.
Go to myth number four.
Oh, well, I wanted to finish this because Lou Chen of Amphi Gallery recommends that newcomers view solo shows of individual artists. They often offer a comprehensive presentation of the artist's creative approach and their styles, and you get to know the background, she said. Interesting. Galleries are also there to help should you have any questions or thoughts. When you buy from a good gallery, you are buying into the security of experience and safe provenance. That is very important. Uh, we should do an episode on provenance one day.
It's not the first time you've mentioned this.
It's well, I mean, it's important. It's like how you track the history of the piece as it's changed hands and how you I mean, if you don't have the provenance, it's going to be really hard to sell it on the secondary market. They're going to be like, is this real? Where did it come from?
Did you make this in your basement, or did this come?
Yeah, did you is the replica? Yeah, I mean, people get burned. I think, yeah, galleries get burned.
I think everybody.
Uh, Auction house, yeah, everybody. They get burned.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like it's a fake. Send it back.
Send it back. Yeah, return to shipper.
Like, yeah.
Return to galleries only care about selling art. That was sort of the myth we were busting in the first one a little bit
Yeah. There's a
because
good
we
quote here. A good gallery is a creative partner for artists, collectors, and the public, said Jansen. We shape careers, nurture talent, and work alongside our artists and curate experiences that connect people with art in a meaningful way. I love that idea of what a gallery is, connecting artists to, audience, curating things and, creating meaningful connections. Yeah, it's cool.
Well, you said that like community is a big part of like, you know, what galleries are trying to do is build community. And it's interesting, like, I think in one of the articles we read about like which galleries were succeeding, which galleries were struggling. And it was the community builders.
Yeah.
I mean, being a large gallery helped, but being a gallery with a strong, heavily involved, active community makes a big difference. Like, and it makes sense because these things become so like niche and specific to like maybe a certain thing that people are looking like photographs, street photography, like the street photography gallery. And, so people are there for a specific thing and there's a community around it. I mean, I've definitely been to like all sorts of events where, like the artist is supporting some program in the community or educational thing. I think that's a big part of it, and that's important.
No, same. Later in the same, chunk here, or I guess same myth, whatever. There's a quote. It's a space where people can connect with each other. So Chen, whose gallery is based in, Pasadena, California. When we celebrate exhibitions, students, artists, visitors, and curators get the chance to talk to each other. So yeah, it's all about the community connection.
I mean, when we talk about the article, the Hypebeast article, they talk about like different ways that gallery. I think
Yeah,
they talk about salon. That's what he talks about salon, and they talk about different ways that galleries are trying to get out there.
the
And
DJ.
salon was unique. What?
Just no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, what would you say? I didn't hear.
I was saying like the ways that some of the galleries are kind of reinventing themselves. I think in that same article, which we'll get to, they talk about like the DJ cocktail kind
Yeah,
of.
DJ cocktail hour.
Maybe you're
Yeah.
not as much of a gallery at this point, or maybe it is, and like those lines seem to be blurring a lot more, especially in this kind of weird part of the market where people are having to be a little more creative than the past. But what were you saying about salon?
No, it's just in that article. We'll talk about it. I mean, even like the Brooklyn Art Museum, the Brooklyn Art Museum, I think, like, don't they have like those open nights where it's like very club-like, try to get people
Probably.
excited. There's get the drinks going,
Drinks flowing,
champagne.
get the folks buying.
Myth number 5, you need a mansion to live with art.
Facts.
That's like the biggest myth. Like, who even thinks that? I don't even ever heard of that myth.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one.
Yeah, no, that one's completely crazy. I definitely, as someone who's like done some art deliveries and gone into some of the houses of New York is not a place where wealthy people just have mansions sitting around. Like they have nice places, but we're talking about the city. So space is not the primary. It's not the it's not the primary issue. Like people they'll fill their walls. They will keep their art in closets. You
Yeah.
know, if you're a hardcore collector, you
Million
know,
dollar Warhol hanging on the wall in like a, 20-foot square apartment or something crazy, It's like, it
it
happens.
it definitely. Sometimes you get those people who have like, they have like in their living room, it's like there's only five things total in the living room, and they're all works of art. You know what I mean? Like it's like a piece of furniture that you really don't know if you're able to sit on.
Sure.
They got like, the famous artist painting on the wall. The coffee table is clearly a sculpture. It's not functional in any way. You know what I mean? Like,
Like, sure. I'll just stand. I'll stand. It's all
yeah, I'll
right.
just stand.
I'll stand. The floor is also an installation. Now you got to, I'm just playing.
The floor's in this exactly. Now you gotta put the booties on, walk on the floor. Yeah, no, I think anyone can collect art. And I mean, even our friends who are artists and artist collectors, like they just, you fill the walls and you make it look like pleasant to how
Well,
you want.
you have some, again, I don't have a ton of artwork on my walls, but what we do have, a lot of it was like donated, generously gifted. Like, someone Danielle used to work with shoots photographs, just gave her a couple frame photos. We hung them up, it's nothing crazy, but yeah, don't gotta have a mansion for it. Want to move on to the
Yeah, I
next?
mean, you know, a lot of people just have family photos.
That too. Not the wrong.
All right. Yeah. Just finish this last line. Sam said, I want people to be curious about the artist, adding that it brings her a lot of joy when buyers connect with her artist's work. At the end of the day, it's not about the space, it's not about the money, you know, it's all these other myths, you know, it's about community, art, coming together, supporting each other, connection. I mean, they still have to sell the art, but it's a part.
Well, business.
Otherwise, everyone goes out of business, right?
Still live in a capitalistic society. All right, 5 myths busted. Moving on to the next.
What's next?
Yeah, that's a good question.
A hype beast?
Let's do the hype beast. Yeah, let's talk about the market.
All right, I got to bring that article up.
Various-
Slow death of contemporary art galleries.
I read this one yesterday. I got to review it, but I like this one for sure. I can. I'll jump in on the first paragraph here.
Yeah, so yeah, sure.
The slow death of the contemporary art gallery, a hunger for new voices and unconventional methods is reshaping the market, which is like kind of what we've been talking about in our last few streams, bro.
Yeah,
Go
that's the major thing.
The contemporary art gallery as we know it is dying. In cities like New York and Los Angeles, dedicated spaces that once buzzed with foot traffic and formal openings are now struggling with rising rents and changing expectations. The old model where a gallery does everything for its artists feels like it's falling apart. I don't want to read all the rest of that, but there's an excellent
Yeah.
quote here. As I skip through some, but it says the old model was built on scarcity and prestige. The new one runs on access and attention. I think this is a good talking point here. It's kind of like what you mentioned when you differentiated. I learned about red chip on our last call, on our last, and I
Yeah,
think
that's from this article. This is where
ah, there you go.
yeah, he dropped it in this article.
That's
So
awesome.
really, the red chip artist. Yeah, blue chip versus red chip, the viral art, virality being a part of it versus like blue chip. I mean, it's so interesting. It could,
I mean, the red chip thing, given the day and age we live in, social media, virality, it
unavoidable.
exactly. Yeah, it makes sense. It's funny that they coined it like a new term, red chip. I'm curious, like where that comes from, but nonetheless, yeah, it's just part of the culture at this point. People are all, or I won't say always, but a common theme is obviously viral and capitalize on said viral, whatever went viral, I guess. But
We live in the virality age. Like every, like people careers are made on viral as opposed to, or they can be made on viral.
yeah,
We could talk about those blue chips versus like red chips, and we're like obviously learning about like what even makes a blue chip artist. You know
exactly.
what I mean? And so, but these people typically, I think, who become blue chip artists are people who gone through a very kind of rigorous art system. I don't think the art world is easy for artists to navigate. And there's a lot of things like I hear like terms that come up like biennial, you know what I mean? Like, or like these are uh, uh, mid-career. What was the term? It was like there's biennials, there's mid-career surveys, I think was a
Sounds
term, a mid-career survey.
yeah,
Uh, one solo shows, group shows, getting your artwork in museum. And these artists typically, I think, are going through this process.
yeah. Talking
They're
about
applying
as far as like
residencies.
blue
What's
chip
up?
artists, the blue chip artists approach,
I
right?
don't think, I don't know if, yeah, I'm not sure like if a red chip artist could easily, I mean, I don't know. These are, I need, as we progress, I will definitely try to do more research so I can answer, at least like have some idea about the questions that come up. Because I have these questions where I'm like, I would imagine it's probably hard for a red chip artist to just become a blue chip artist. You know what I mean? I think it's almost like a different career path.
That's kind of my read on it as well.
I mean, those that exist in so many things. Like it reminds me of other things, like in like I don't know, like when someone blows up on the internet for something viral and people don't think you deserve it. Well, what
Yeah.
do you mean? You know what I mean? Like if a rapper's song goes viral and then all of a sudden, you know, or they're calling themselves I'm the best rapper alive, and it's like, what do you mean? And so like we have like this sort of virality versus like people who've like earned their way into this. And the art world has a very specific system, I think.
No, I think you're right. I mean, to again, kind of side tangent, music parallel, since you were just talking about it, I was literally just watching something, United Masters, big popular, independent platform for, recording artists. They posted something with Lizzo talking about in an interview about how you can, obviously TikTok and social media, TikTok specifically, the virality there, how you can post something there and like be at the Grammys or the BET Awards like within a year. You know what I mean? Like you can go viral online, social media, and be, at the show, like, the whatever, however much credit or prestige you give to these institutions or these, award shows, whatever. But, you can go from in a year. And, we're talking about, to your point, a lot of people who spend a lot of time, doing things, putting out projects, touring, this, and the third. And because they never had the viral moment, virality situation, you're still not quite going to these, shows or things, or it takes you a lot longer to get there. But now, maybe, more than ever, that time can potentially shrink depending on, again, the red chip aspect and the virality of it. So it's kind of crazy to see.
But the question is, will it last? I mean, this is a world where virality does make careers. I mean, Pablo Picasso went viral in his day, I think, at some point. Or some of these artists, they go, you know what I mean? They can go viral on some level. I mean, maybe did Picasso's was he one who most of his wealth came after his life? I mean, during his life, I think he was pretty famous. So, but like, yeah, I mean, I think you can go viral, but will it last is the question. You know what I mean? Did you make something like I feel like this Slan character artist, Ole Olu
Yeah.
Slan, like I feel like he has a viral aspect to him and almost intentionally, but I really like his artwork.
Artist fire.
I like that he's 1,000, you know what I mean? 1,000 individual works, just blowing up the system.
This seems like really, this seems like such, I feel like, I mean, I don't know, it's tough. It's the Salon seems very intentional, obviously,
Mhm.
which for whatever reason I kind of it resonates more with me. A lot of viral stuff is made intentionally as well, but I don't know. I'm not sure where I was going with that thought, but
Well, I
I
mean, Catalan, viral.
yeah,
He's both blue chip and red chip in his
yeah,
own right, if I had to guess.
yeah,
Yeah, on some level. Uh, but this Ololu, Ola Olu Slan, I just, you know what else too? I like his hip hop flavor. I went to his Instagram page, and it's like, like in hip hop, like when they have a music video, like you have your community, like they'll have like the rapper, and then behind them, it's like family, friends, crew, the people
see the
in the
gang.
hood, community. Like he's got that. And I like that because I don't know if I've seen that in art. I'm sure
He's
it's
like
in the art
over here
world.
singing. He's got like a whole gang of people behind him, just like chilling. Like, what's the
Nah, he just well, he has a bunch of photos of him like just hanging out and taking but in all his a lot of his pictures, he has like his I think maybe child or there's like a young person with him. It seems like family and then the crew.
yeah,
And that's like some of the pictures they're taking together. It's like this is me and the crew. Some of these guys look like they might be artists, but it looks like you got a lot more people with you from like the hood or wherever.
it's like
Not
that?
to like stereotype, but like I find that really interesting in the art world
Mhm.
because that's what made hip hop feel disruptive in some ways to me. Like, I don't know, like there's a reason Kendrick Lamar still uses that theme. He still go, for his latest music videos, he goes to the hood, to the crew, kick it with the homies, and they barbecue.
Shit,
And
yeah,
seeing that, like, because I don't think Basquiat didn't have that, but like now these artists, they can bring that energy, and that's kind of interesting to me. It was just a little trend that I noticed
yeah.
about
No, I
him.
dig that. I dig
Uh,
that. Uh,
yeah. Um, oh, did you see this Adrian Brody one though? They
I
talk
did
about the
think about
actor.
the yeah, about his art and him selling some stuff. I didn't know. Did I know that he made art? At one point, maybe. I know there's a few celebrities.
Yeah,
Obviously,
dude.
and
I
then
didn't know, actually.
I feel like I
He's
something right now. Yeah, but
he's these criticisms are pretty. His artwork looks exactly like Mr. Brainwash, as far as I could tell, though. Like it was like these. Should we look? Should we pull up the Adrian Brody art?
of course,
Or-
yeah. I'll read the article, the snippet with him while you're pulling it up. A separate but related trend sees celebrities entering the art market with their own work, often commanding high prices based on their fame. Actor Adrian Brody is a notable example. His art, which he described as about celebrating the little nuances in life, has sold for significant amounts, as per a combo with Interview magazine. For instance, a painting created of Marilyn Monroe was sold at a Cannes Gala
Good.
auction, $425,000. 425K, illustrating how star power can directly translate into commercial value. However, his work has drawn sharp criticism from the industry, with critics often labeling it as kitschy and derivative. One critic writing for Art News described his work as having a faux naive aesthetic and mediocre production value, while others have accused him of cheaply appropriating the styles of Basquiat and Warhol.
It doesn't remind me of Basquiat. It doesn't look like his work doesn't look like Basquiat or Warhol to me, but it looks very similar to this sort of very common New York sort of aesthetic, like that Mr. Brainwash that you see like in like a lot of galleries, like second tier galleries all over the place, where a lot of people try to copy his street art style. It's like almost graffiti. You see? I don't know. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. Nah, I can see that. I see that. There's some parallels there.
He also, I've heard that Mr. Brainwash could be Banksy,
Interesting.
but I don't know if that, well, because he features Banksy's artwork in his art.
What if I was Banksy?
I wouldn't be surprised. Oh,
I'm not Banksy.
hide your kids, hide your wife. It's just, I don't know why was I looking that up? There's a reason.
What? Hide your kids, hide your wife, or Adrian Brody?
Yeah, I was hide your kids, hide your wife. I think we were talking about like red chip virality. the guy who did high, you remember the dude who went viral because there was like a robbery in the neighborhood. And he was like, hide your kids, hide your wife.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah,
whole
no, he's like a red chip artist. I was coming, I was like my nuts because that guy, I think sang and performed from that viral statement,
style.
songs other people produced and then sort of like looped his voice. He went to like BET Awards and all sorts of exciting things.
Crazy. That's fucking wild.
But are you going to buy his artwork 10 years from now or 100 years from now? Because you'll probably still be buying Picassos. People will still be trading Picasso. I think a Picasso just got released into the open recently. I forget what it's called. They kind of, I think it was like one of his artwork, one of his artworks about a subject is maybe a girlfriend or lover. And it was recently being resold. I put up on auction.
You want to keep reading this article?
Yeah, yeah.
Like this part, as the old guard shrinks, smaller galleries are finding new ways to thrive. In New York, Tiwa Gallery shows self-taught artists in a relaxed space, rejecting flashy marketing. Portland's Land with 3Ds combines Latin American crafts with immersive events. In LA, Marta Gallery blends art and design right into everyday life. These new spaces care more about quiet, genuine connection, just like the last article, than putting on a spectacle. It goes on to say retail is also becoming a new kind of gallery. Stores like South Korea's Gentle Monster and London's Dover Street Market are blurring the lines between art and commerce, transforming shopping into an immersive cultural experience. And then it goes on there. That's where that quote comes in. If your space is fueled by DJs and cocktails, maybe it isn't really a gallery anymore. So this line being blurred again between retail and culture and art and commerce and different things. I have mixed feelings about it. I like the democratization kind of aspect, like we talked about with the Cause Uniqlo collab. Um, but also, I think I don't know, like the traditional gallery in a sense is something special as long as it's emphasizing the right things, which we believe to be community and connection and education, educating people, and I don't know, yeah, just connecting people with art. What do you think about the lines being blurred?
I mean, I totally agree with you. I think at the end of the day, like galleries are generally, collecting a very specific artists and they're building a clientele and vendor list of artists and clientele that are all looking for something similar. And so they're all finding connections about that. So gallerists are, I think, constantly connecting dots. And then the other aspect is more like sales. It's more like how can we get people in the door,
Exactly.
excited. Listen, if you're a gallerist and you are showing like you know Roy Lichtenstein collection, people are there because not for the DJing. You know what I mean? Like DJing wouldn't help that. You know, it could add some vibe, but it's
Oh
not.
no, man.
People are there bonding over the artwork or the subject.
But imagine bonding over the artwork or the subject with like a low light with like, some strobe lights, pumping in the background, maybe some like and like someone just spinning like some real like housey type, that
Yeah.
hey, pretty dope environment. Connect even for no, I'm just playing. But yeah, no, I mean I think I think it makes me think too, again, because again, the market is weird right now. Nobody has the answers. Nobody knows, which is exciting to me to an extent, again, because again, people are getting creative in ways like this. And it that and do you think that this trend of what we're seeing, with like, again, to your point, just trying to get people in the door, whether it's DJs or cocktails or whatever, is this something that you think is just gimmicky now, or could we potentially see this like I don't know, like this we might be this might be the future, bro. Who knows? Like who the guard is kind of changing. The old ways were flawed. It doesn't really work, anymore, really. Or maybe it does, but I don't know. I'm just
I mean, I don't know if I'm in any position to say. I will say that I Phillips auctions, if I remember correctly, I was reading about a little bit about the founding history, and I'm not going to get this right because it was sort of like strange to me. But I think galleries and the art industry, because it just has these formal natures to it. And so, like, I think galleries in like the 1800s, like Sotheby's and Christie's, like the first galleries or early galleries or auction houses, I mean, didn't do evening auctions. It was more of like this was like it's sort of like the stock market maybe. Like this is a daytime, like you go down to Wall Street, back in the day, and everyone's trying to like trade those tickets on the floor of the Wall Street, and it's not happening at night. It closes down. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing's trading on the stock exchange after the stock exchange closes. Well, although crypto is doing that, and that means NFTs, and that relates to art. But we don't have to get into that. Yeah, but I think like it was Phillips started doing evening sales, and they started having like you know tea and crackers and pastries maybe, and that or like even just coffee, just coffee at the auction
oh,
was like considered
I was
revolutionary.
about to say, yeah, facts. It's a game
Yeah,
changer.
so yeah, like so I mean, I think these things come from a formal place. So this could be like a continuation of that, but also you could also think of it as like maybe it's nothing new. Like people have always been trying to break these formalities and do more interesting, things. Like that Dover Street market, that's pretty cool. Like that's basically like a mall where you can buy like design and clothes and uh
Essentially.
art. And it's sort of actually, what's crazy? We can move on. Someone did a street gallery on the side of the bodega on Knickerbocker, where we used to live. The opposite end of the block, not on Hart. The opposite end of the block, there's a bodega, and on the brick wall outside, someone put up some artworks with QR codes.
That's
So
fire.
they're selling artworks like outside on the side of the building.
I guess I'm sure they have an agreement with the bodega to do it, but yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty.
they must have. I've seen that inside like bars or in different scenarios, but that's one of the first times I think I've seen it on the side of a bodega. So
I mean, in the train, you see it in the train too, depending on certain stations. People selling stuff, fake Banksies a lot of times, but a lot of people be selling their own artwork.
yeah,
It's pretty interesting.
yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
let me read the last paragraph here. Art isn't disappearing, it's just moving, becoming more accessible and less tied to one physical location. The old model was built on scarcity and prestige. The new one runs on access and attention. The question isn't whether galleries will survive, but which ones can change fast enough to matter. Interesting stuff. And circling back,
disagree with that actually. This
if you
final
disagree,
statement. Generally, generally, I agree with like why this article is being written. I kind of understand like all the dynamics that they're saying. But again, like I sometimes take an attitude where I'm like, the old model hasn't gone away. And so like everything you're doing is just being added on to. So change fast enough. Some people are gonna have to change. But some people are going to be able to get away. I mean, I think just because we have a bunch of red chip artists doesn't mean blue chip is going away. And again, just because someone's viral today doesn't mean tomorrow they're Picasso. In
thanks.
fact, it's just unlikely.
Yeah. Nice, bro. Drop the mic on that one. Snaps, fam. I love it.
Oh, well, I mean, it's a good article. It was a
Sure.
good
I
comment.
wanted to touch something you mentioned Christie's and like the NFT market. I don't know why I'm holding this. Thanks for bringing this, by the way, man. I've been like fidgeting with it.
No, where's mine?
It's good. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, Christie's shut down their NFT department. And one of the other articles, which we aren't
Oh,
reading.
really?
Yeah,
Christie's did? That
uh,
whole website? They have a whole web page.
hang on one sec. Where is that? Plus, Christie's has quietly closed its digital art department, and the National Gallery in London has launched an ambitious new initiative basically I think they're trying to tie it into like the new contemporary side. It's not just going to be its own thing because I think sales obviously like after I'm paraphrasing, but after 2021, after pandemic, obviously NFT and digital things were going crazy. It was something like I think it was in the billions potentially. Don't quote me, but obviously like severe drop off, like million, million billions to millions, but enough that they're obviously reconsidering and restructuring some things. So that was pretty interesting to see. But yeah,
One of those sites, I don't remember. I don't remember if it was Sotheby's or Christie's, but they had embedded like a whole web page onto their site. So it was like a whole link, and you click on the link, and it was like going into like the Matrix, and it was all for NFT. It was like a different format. It was a completely new world, and they went it all in. Uh, yeah, I mean
red chip
NFT.
here
What's
one
up?
day. I mean, it kind of parallels with the red chip here one day and reconsidering how it looks in the future because things
I
change.
mean, I don't. NFTs. I don't know what's gonna happen with those because
Yeah, I got you.
it's a big. There's a lot going on, a lot of opportunities. People are doing innovative things and interesting things, but it's very abstract for a lot of people, and I'm sure it's abstract for a lot of art collectors who see art as a physical medium.
True. Yeah,
I
1,000 years.
see some people mix them though. Like they use combinations of these things
Yeah,
together to create new experiences for collectors.
try to do.
Uh, we don't really have a lot of time. We could discuss the Catalan article a little bit. It's a good
Talk,
article.
talk about the Catalan real quick. I'm a big fan of Catalan. I
He's
like.
good.
There's one specific quote. All right, whatever. I can read the article if you want.
No, no, let's just discuss it. I
Okay,
need to find it.
no
What's
worries.
the name of that article?
Where's Maurizio?
Ah,
Let's go. Where's Maurizio? You can snag a 99-cent Catalan sculpture in a scavenger hunt. It's the
yes.
first
Yes.
It's the first in a series of pieces produced by Avant Art and inspired by the Italians' acclaimed Guggenheim retrospective. I kind of love it. It's literally like a scavenger hunt, essentially. There's like little sculptures, bro. It's going to be in New York. There's a few major cities, I believe, that they're just going
Oh,
to like.
bro, I know where I'm looking. If I'm in a city on the 30th, if I'm next week, if I'm in if I'm near where all the galleries are, I know exactly where I'm going to look
The little hanging
for one
sculpture.
of these things, as I want one.
I'm saying it cracks me up. He has a a quote here. If you never thought you would be able to hang my effigy in your home, said the artist in a statement, that makes two of us. That's mad funny.
I mean, also like this is, you know, very fitting to our theme. He has this quote that says, "I really don't consider myself an artist. I make art, but it's a job. I fell into this by chance. Someone once told me that it was a very profitable profession, that you could travel a lot and meet a lot of girls, but all of that is false. There is no money, there's no travel, no girls, only work."
Only work. I love that. I love that take. I just appreciate how he doesn't take himself too seriously, but it's still like, obviously really talented and makes really dope art, and yeah, I don't know. I'm a fan.
Yeah, I mean, this critic says it neatly turns the buys democratizing slogan on its head. Like everyone is an artist. I don't believe that. I agree with him. I believe with Maurizio. Everyone's creative and everyone has the potential to be an artist. Everyone generally is creating, but not everyone is an artist. It does have very specific, you know, it's got very specific things you need to do to be successful as an artist if you want to be an artist. Anyone can be creative though.
I mean, real quick, we don't have to go too deep into it, but on the same article, they showed his Guggenheim. I mean, a couple of his installations there. The one with everything's hanging, that was really epic.
I
That
don't think I saw that one.
Yeah,
At
it
the
was
Guggen.
Yeah, it's called All Maurizio Catalan All, and it's just a bunch of it's different sculptures, flatwork, painting, all just hanging through the middle, because they have like the rotunda, all the way, and it's all just hanging. And I'm like, this looks awesome and fun. And then the other thing, America, the golden toilet, that is.
Yeah.
I was telling D about that earlier too. I'm like, this man really made a 24 karat, or what is it? A golden toilet functional.
Functional too, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you people can interact and use that. And I'm just like, bro, go off, King. And obviously, we all
Go
know
on.
I don't know about banana, which just bananas, everything that kind of went on with that. But yeah, no, shout out to Maurizio.
Yeah.
Keep an eye
Yeah,
out for
he's a curious
sculptures.
artist. Very curious. I I shouldn't say this, but if you're, I would go to, because they say that it might be in like what's
They said it might be in bodegas, bro. They said it might be.
bodegas, market, street vendors. I was thinking where he got the banana. He
Ooh,
got the banana from from the fruit vendor outside of Sotheby's.
come on, bro. Now you're giving away all this.
Tuesday. I'll
That
see you
is
there looking
good.
for Hey Mauricio.
Bro, I'm so that's dope. Yeah, I would love to get my hand.
Those things are going to be worth 99 cents. You can just buy one for 99 cents.
I guess I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little unclear about how
antique
much,
stores. Yeah, it was a little kind of confusing.
but nonetheless, those are there. Keep an eye out for those. All right,
Yeah.
man. What do you think?
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
There?
lastly, he's a great artist. He's someone who's like I think we were talking about blue chip, red chip a lot. He's someone who might be like doing both of those things in a certain way.
Think so, bro.
All right. We got to read that report. We should read that report for one of the
Next
episodes, next one.
Yeah, tune in next time, guys. Also, like and subscribe and follow and share and all that good stuff. We never do those. We got to say that stuff now.
I know, Culture Canvas. You can find us on YouTube, Culture Canvas Podcast. Email us at culturecanvaspodcast.com.
We love.
Oh,
Make
wait, no.
He's
It's
got a book coming out. It's lit. I got music. It's dope. Check us out.
we don't have to plug every time. Oh, my name is showing again.
Damn, bro. Got your government out there. It's all right
Oh,
though.
well.
Can I do
You
my?
can
Can
find me. You know
try?
where to find me.
Can I try one of these sign offs?
What's up? Oh,
Try
you got a new
one,
we
bro. Every week.
okay.
My new
All right,
catchphrase.
sign off.
We've painted outside the lines, we've broken the frame, and we've probably confused at least three art historians along the way. But that's showbiz. You stay priceless.
Are we in showbiz?
I don't know. Sorry. I try one more.
We're in YouTube.
If tonight
Biz.
taught us anything, it's that art is alive, fashion is a battlefield, and snacks will always run out before the wine. You stay radiant, renegades. All right,
Are
bro.
you saying that to me or are you saying it to the audience? It feels like you're saying it and then winking directly to me. It feels so personal. Sorry, I like that one.
Nice,
It's
man.
good.
Dig it.
Yeah.
Cool, bro. Well, until next time. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Until next time, we'll see you 7 o'clock. Uh,
7:30 on
we're
Monday.
picking the next day. We'll schedule it. You can go to our YouTube. You'll see the schedule there.
There you go.
All right. Is that it?
That's
All
it.
right. I'll see you next time. Take care.
All right, bro.